What is up, my ninja? Shinobi here, bringing you guys another Diablo 3 video guide on the Demon Hunter. So in my previous video, I talked about the multi-shot Demon Hunter, our speed farm Demon Hunter that does a lot of awesome farming. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the Impale Demon Hunter, the Shadow Demon Hunter. This is the one you're going to be using for your solos, your high pushing solos, and then also for your group play. I'm going to go over some of the variations that I use in my group play and why I use them in that variation. And then, yeah, just go over a little bit of this stuff here. So there is a few little ways that you can do the Shadow Impale Demon Hunter, but this way I've come to really have a liking for. I got a 115 down with this current character, but this was before a lot of my Paragon and a lot of my augments and stuff, and I haven't really spent any time doing the solo thing, mainly just doing the grouping thing, getting ready for the later parts of the season. Now, also, guys, I'm going to try to be a little brief about some of this stuff here because some of this is common knowledge and maybe some of you don't need the extra information, but for those of you that do, make sure you check out my live stream at twitch.tv/Shinobi Live for more information. And also, if this is your first video of seeing me once again, and you thought, I thought this guy stopped playing Diablo 3, I did make a video talking about my return to D3, and that link will be in the description down below, so please check that out, as well as all the other stuff like my Discord, my Twitter, my stream, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into the character here, the Shadow Demon Hunter. So we are in Season 16 here with the Reign of Royal Grandeur buff, so we only need 5 pieces. So we are using here our helmet. So this helmet right here is not really rolled correctly. I do have another helmet here, which is my Shadow Mask. I use this one here for my group play. This is why I have an augment on it. I was messing around with the idea of having a little bit more vitality here because I'm only at like 700k life, just to see if it would help a little bit with survivability. But the correct decision is to go for this helmet over here. I just have this one equipped right now. So you'd want to have this one over here, which is Dexterity, Crit Chance, Impale, and then, throwing an augment on there at the socket on there and having resist in the secondary. On the shoulders here, we're looking for Dex, Vitality, Resist All, and Cooldown Reduction. On the gloves, we're looking for Dex, Attack Speed, Crit Chance, and Crit Damage. Then we're looking on the pants here for Dex, Vitality, Resist All. Then on the boots, we're looking for Dex, Vitality, Resist All, and Impale Damage. This Shadow, this little side thing, this Primal dropped like this. It dropped like this. I only had to roll the secondary. That's rare for that to happen. I was pretty happy about that. But yeah, definitely really awesome. So those are the shadow pieces. For the chest piece here, we're using an Aquila. It doesn't really matter too much on the roll of the special property, as it's all going to be pretty much the same for you anyway, because your Impale costs like 15 hatred or so in that area, besides the reductions and stuff. And getting reduced elite damage on there with Dexterity, Vitality. Getting resistance secondary would be better. Then we have our amulet here, Traveler's Pledge. I'm trying to get a better one, but this is pretty good. We got Cold, Crit Chance, Crit Damage. Just wish that Crit Damage was higher. I wish this was Primal. And then we got Resistance secondary. You want like reduced damage, melee damage taken, stuff like that. Using Strong Arm Bracers, the Cold, Dex, Vitality, and Crit Chance. Then over here we are using the Compass Rose, obviously, to go with this. I've been trying to get a better one too, an ancient one, so I could augment, but this is quite good. I get that average damage, Dex, Crit, and Crit damage with resist in the secondary. And then my Convention of Elements with average damage, Crit Chance, Crit damage, it's not too bad. And then onto the weapon, we got the Carly's points. You're going to be wanting to get percent damage, dexterity, attack speed, and as high a property as you can. You could even maybe go with some area damage over the attack speed there. as my attack speed is well over 2 attacks per second, which is nice. The thing is you hit like a truck as a Shadow Impale. So you want to hit like a truck more often. That's why you're getting attack speed. And that's why when you're doing the group play variations, you even have even more attack speed. That's why you're using things like Gogok. That's why you're using things like Pain Enhancer, because you attack faster and faster and faster and you just do more and more mayhem. But yeah, and then we have the Holy Point shot. This one I am trying to get a replacement for so I can get rid of that Vitality for Impale damage, but very hard to get a good roll on this one. Cold attack speed, crit chance, and like I said, we're trying to go cold here. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all the items there for the gems we're using. Obviously, we're using the Bane of the Trapped for the nice big damage increase, the Pain Enhancer for the dot effect and the attack speed, and then we're using Gogok of Swiftness for the cooldown help there, and the dodge and the attack speed. So all super helpful and awesome. In the cube, we are using the Dawn for getting our Vengeance up more often. The Chains of Shadow, after using Impale, Vault costs no resource for 2 seconds, which allows you to literally vault through the entire map as long as you're chaining those Impales. And FYI, for a build like this, when you have as much damage as I do, you want to make sure you're doing only high content. Doing like T13 with a build like this, not going to be the greatest because you literally one-shot everything and it can hurt your resources. You have to be a lot more precise in keeping those up. So use something like the multi-shot build that I made before this video, actually. So but yeah, just a little side note. And then using the Elusive Rain. Keep in mind, a lot of people forget this, but it doesn't just proc off of your vault. It also procs off your shadow power. So if you're standing next to an elite and you're about to kill that elite, just pop your shadow power again to get that damage reduction without getting out of position and vaulting away, and then mobs maybe moving the way or something like that. But yeah, and then we're moving over here to our other stuff. So we have a companion. We got the Boar Companion. Now, Boar Companion I really like using here because it gives you some resistance, which is nice. But then also it taunts mobs. So the gameplay behind this is you're just trying to kill elites, right? So what you do is when you see an elite with a bunch of mobs around it, a bunch of trash around it, you taunt the trash with your boar, and your boar will... the trash will start moving towards your boar. That gives you a little bit of leeway to jump in on that elite and take him out real quickly. It's kind of the way the gameplay works. It could be a little annoying in the higher, greater rifts. Trust me, it is. But it's definitely awesome and much better than using the wolf. You don't need the extra damage. You just need, you know, some survivability when you're getting up those really high stuff there. Using Impale over penetration, obviously cold here. And then shadow power, doesn't matter which one you pick, you get the use of all of them. One thing that maybe you didn't know about shadow power is that, as you see my character right now, I have these like cool looking wings on here, not the cosmic ones, the other ones. And if you change the shadow power that you're using, it changes the color of the one you're using. You can use any one you want. So maybe a little trick that you guys didn't know about Shadow Demon Hunter is that you get to do cool stuff like that. So give you a little bit of transmog there for your build. So yeah. Then I got Vault Rattle Roll. We use Rattle Roll because it's going to give you a knock-up effect that's going to help activate your Strong Arm Bracers and do a little stun there for extra survivability. Phantomized Bladed Armor. It's just really nice when you're on the move. It gives you a bunch of armor. Vengeance Dark Hearts for the damage reduction. And we got Numbing Traps for more damage reduction. Awareness for... You're going to have situations where you're killing an elite and you're like, I'm taking a bunch of damage. I need to move, right? I need to like kite a little bit, but the elite's almost dead. And you're like, okay, I can proc because I have awareness up. And that's going to buy me some extra time to finish this elite off and then move through. So utilize that. Ambush, also very helpful here. To get some additional burst damage in, because you do a lot of damage, especially when you roll over to cold. That's how it all works. And then cold a weak for more additional damage. You could even opt to go for something like steady aim over ambush, just to give you more consistent damage, but you do have to keep your range, right? So it can be a little harder to manage, but yeah, definitely really good. So that pretty much does it there for Templar. You're going to be switching this back over here. It's going to look like that. Some Templar items can't die. the Jane Does. It freezes your targets. Really nice on those high Rift Guardians. Using the Oculus Ring for the damage boost, and then Essa Johan helps pull things together for you. Can actually help a lot. And I like using freeze or deflection as well. So that's pretty much the whole build. Super powerful, super awesome, and can do a lot of damage. And I even can still get much better gear. My augments are only like around 100 or so, 110. I'm going to be even getting this higher and pushing further, higher into the leaderboards, higher into the tiers. But yeah, and then Paragon, pretty straightforward. It's pretty much the same on all Demon Hunter builds. Just getting the movement speed here, the dexterity. Then we're coming over and getting the crit chance, crit damage, cooldown, attack speed, and then resist all, life, armor, regen, and then we'll be going for reduce. We don't need reduce resource right away. We can go with the area damage, then reduce resource, then like whatever you want. But yeah, that's pretty much that. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the variations here that I've created when it comes to group play. All right, so this is pretty much the same build, but this is my group play speeds version. This one is going to give you a little bit more damage output, and this is when I'm in a group with a monk already that's using strong arm bracers. So I don't need to use strong arm bracers anymore, which means I can use the Lakuni's prowlers, giving me more attack speed. Then I'm also adding in a few dexterity gems here to get some more damage, because when you're in a group, you don't need as much survivability. That's pretty much all you're going to be doing with that. And the rest of it's all going to be pretty straightforward. Nothing really changed other than that. Just going to make a few little alterations here. And then you can also throw in the Sentry Guardian turret to help your teammates with a little bit more survivability. But everything else is pretty much the same. I do use single out here because you're going to be killing the Rift Guardian when you're in a group. So I have this single out ready for that. And when we're doing group speeds like 105s, 110s, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to proc off awareness, so I can get rid of that awareness, put that single out in there. You can even get rid of numbing traps, really, if you wanted to, and maybe go for a steady aim just to get some additional damage output. But that's up to you, and that's based off of the group you're playing with and how safe you feel with that. Yeah, that's completely up to you. So let's go ahead and talk about our group pushy build here and equip that one. So here's the group push build, and it's going to be very similar to that one we just had, and I'm missing one item here, which it's on my other character, which is my Bane of the Stricken. It's on my monk right now. So you're gonna have the Bane of the Trapped and the Gogok just like you'd normally do. You're gonna have Bane of the Stricken here. I don't have. It's on my other character, like I said. We're going to be using the Lakunis here. We're going to be using the Sentry, and we're going to be going for resistance here. So mainly the real switch is going to be your Bane of Stricken, because you're killing the Rift Guardian, and you're literally just, you know, when you're doing higher difficulties, you're just building that up. Now, with that said, I will be making another video in the future as I test this out more, but I also have another build which is even better for group pushing, and that's going to utilize the Stone of Jordan here. So we'll be using the Stone of Jordan, and this is going to be real great for that, because we're going to be able to put the convention of elements in our cube, get rid of the elusive ring, so we're going to be a little squishier, but you only care about killing the Rift Guardian, so you want to do as much damage as you can. So as a Rift Guardian killer for the Demon Hunter, you'll be using the Stone of Jordan here instead of this convention, putting the convention in the cube, getting rid of the elusive ring, and just doing really lots and lots and lots of damage, because you get that elite damage. I got crit damage here, cold damage. So that's essentially what you'll be doing. You're just waiting for those Bane of the Stricken stacks to just keep stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. That's something I'm still going to mess around a bit more with, and maybe show you some gameplay footage of that in the future. And I'll definitely be doing that on my stream, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, like I said, if you have any more questions, guys, this is pretty much what I'm running for my Impale variations. I also did make one last variation for Impale, which was my fast solo Impale, which just utilizes the Nemesis bracers here, but everything else is pretty much the same. You can go with that over using, if you want to get a little bit more speed into your Impale, and you're not using something, you want to do like something like 100s or 105s or 110s quickly, solo. But if you're in a group, though, you don't need Nemesis bracers because your barb or your monk's going to be using them. So yeah, so anyway, that's that, guys. And yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in to the video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, my name is Shinobi, and thanks for watching.